come you always show up when I'm about to do a recording? Huh? Lulu. She's so cute. Okay, so I've decided to do under 10-minute videos. Lulu, you need to stop meowing. About what a kind of a project that I am working on right now. And the camera's sort of down there, so it's kind of a bad angle, but I don't care. As you may have guessed, these books are involved. But here's the thing. In the last year or 2 years, I would say I've been working on losing weight, and kind of during that same time, I've been quite adamant about losing things that don't keep my interest or things I can let go. I'm trying to let them go as soon as I realize I don't care anymore. TV is a great example. Like, I've stopped watching shows that I really liked. Some of them were reality TV, like good ones that I just stopped caring about, like Top Chef, for example. I never thought I'd give up Top Chef. This season, they brought back like half former chefs and half new chefs, and even though I love that show and I love watching it, when they brought back the former chefs, I just thought I was done with these people's story, and I don't care about their stories anymore. I wanted like new stuff. I would have stuck around for the new folks, but I just didn't feel like I had it in me to engage again in like with the chef who came in second and she wants to get first. I didn't feel like I wanted to be like that was too much for me. I just wanted to enjoy watching new chefs cook and find out what they came up with, but the stories, I just couldn't re-engage with stories, so I stopped watching. The Blacklist. James Spader, love that actor, but I've never really cared for the other main characters. And so I just thought I can stop. I stopped caring when they had a baby. I just stopped caring. And I'm like, I could let this go, even though James Spader is awesome and I don't want to miss him. I can let this go. So I stopped watching that. But anyway, I've been thinking lately. Like, I have a ton of software engineering books over there because I'm now in software engineering, but I used to be pursuing a PhD in English and being an English professory kind of a person. So I have tons of books. And lately as I've shed weight, I've been thinking about shedding this place again. And I mean, I've moved a lot in my life. They just recently raised my rent it's still pretty reasonable for the area. I'm in Portland, Oregon, so rents are high. And it's going up still a little bit under market, so I'll take it. But it's got me thinking, save up for a down payment on a house. Like, it's maybe time to buy soon. If it was actually time to buy like 10 or 20 years ago, but I didn't have money. Still don't, but I'm gonna start getting it together. So I realized that if and or when I move at some point, I want to have less stuff. Like, and I've been eyeing these bookshelves for a long time, and tonight I was going to go see a movie, but I just decided I gotta get rid of these books that I'm never going to read. Also, I have no children. I've got nobody to leave shit to. So if I hang on to something, it's got to be for a really good reason. Otherwise, I don't know who the heck is supposed to clean this out. Like, my nieces at some point in my life, somewhere they would clean these things out. So I need to like start winnowing down so that it's easier to move. Like, even the movers who moved me in here, who are great guys, are like, call us again if you do move. And they're like, oh, but get rid of some books first. Well, yeah, I got to get rid of some books. And moreover, I don't want, when they're hanging out, they're like a burden. Like, I'm never going to read these books, so I got to get rid of them. And I've got like craft supplies over there. If I'm never going to use them again, I need to get rid of them. So I'm just gonna, even though it's winter, I'm doing spring cleaning, I guess. But because I pursued a PhD in English at some point, I am attached to the books in some ways, even though now I feel I can let them go. But I thought, I live in Portland, Oregon, so I can go to Powell's and sell these books, and I'll take them like, box or two at a time. Because you can't park right there. You gotta like walk with your box, so you don't want to have too much. Although somebody might loan me a dolly. Anyway, so So I thought, well, it's kind of interesting why I would let go of the books and also why I would keep some of the books. And also, I thought some of the books I'm keeping on the shelf simply because I just want to read them and then they can go. And I know that they can go. Like, I used to be really into young adult novels, and I still like that genre a lot. Those are quick reads, and most of them I feel like I'm probably going to be able to let them go. There are, I'm looking over there now, there are just some things that I just know I can read and let go, or read and know I want to keep. And I thought, well, I can do like book review-y things on here for things I'm keeping, but I could also talk about, maybe as an intro, that and keep these under 10 minutes. It's happening somehow. I thought I might also talk about why I'm letting some of them go, which might make it easier to let some of them go. So I'm just going to start with a stack that happens to be in front of me. Um, Most of them are either books I'm never going to read or I'm going to let go. Like, for example, Infinite Jest. I have most of the fiction I read now, I read via audiobook. I've tried reading this via audiobook. I'm not going to read the paper version. It's just not going to happen. And I don't care enough to invest my time in this. I'm sure it is good. I know that it's good. People I respect love it. Famous dude, even though he's dead, but so infamous, maybe. Um, anyway, I'm gonna let that go. One of the things that makes it hard to let things go is, like, I love the ephemera I've been finding in the books, like, pictures, receipts, like, so I know when I bought it sometimes, even though the receipt isn't always about buying the book, but there's a map of CSULB in here. That's Cal State Long Beach. This is one of the books I read in for my PhD program, and it's got marginalia in it. I love marginalia. I know this isn't a margin, but I used to take notes in the front spaces and the back spaces of things. I got underlines in the book. This one I don't have a whole lot of marginalia on it, but when I thought of things while reading, I would jot them down here. That kept me off the internet, for example. So there are things, that I do love about these books, but I'm not going to keep them just because I took some notes in it. Got to meet this author, Austin Clarke, who this was a big award-winning book in the Canada and Caribbean regions. I know that's two different regions, but I believe he is Caribbean and Canadian. I forget. Anyway, the point is, a good book, quality book, but very difficult read, like challenging to read. And there's like a big, oh dear, my screen went, like, there's like kind of a significant thing in here that's hard to catch, but I got to ask him about it, and he seemed really glad that we caught that, so that was good. Some of these, like book notes, like Cliff Note kind of things, mass markets, and just books I know I'm never going to get around to reading, even if they're classics, they gotta go. There are some books I don't even know how I ended up with them, although I will say that I have, and you'll find this out if you watch more of these, I have an interest in how things are laid out on the page, which is somewhat ironic for a person who reads fiction via audiobook nowadays. But I like how things are laid on the page, and I like short attention spanny things, so you can see, like, this is technically prose, but it also is just kind of made up, and there's timestamps in parts of this. Anyway, I think I was probably intrigued by that, but no more. There are books I'm just never going to get around to reading. This author, you'll find later, I have a book by him that there's no way I'm getting rid of, but I'm never going to read that book if I haven't already. And that is what I'm saying, is that I don't care enough to go back in there. Oh, look, I think, yep, I have read it. And I see why. It's actually, I just opened it up, and my favorite word in the world, penultimate, is underlined. And so with those final thoughts, I'll just say there's books I got free. There's other books like that I apparently paid $2 for, and I don't need to finish out the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Liked the movies, liked the books I've read. That's it. Oh my gosh, it just hit 10 minutes, so I've got to go. But that's the intro to what I'm doing. And I think maybe I'll do a tag like Book Purge or something, or put that in the titles, and then people will know. Okay, that's it. Bye.